Chihuahua. The giant in a small body. You look at him and see a tiny little dog. Delicate, almost fragile. But don't be fooled. The Chihuahua is, in fact, a giant inside a small body. In this video, you will learn everything about the Chihuahua breed. Its mysterious origin, unique behavior, essential care, pros and cons, as well as curiosities you've probably never heard of. 1. Origin of the Chihuahua. Between myths, mysteries, and ancient civilizations. When we look at a Chihuahua today, it's easy to imagine that it was created recently to live in apartments, on celebrities' laps, or as a symbol of cuteness on social media. But the truth is that the Chihuahua carries with it millennia of history, marked by spiritual rituals, ancient empires, and a deep connection with the spiritual world. The catchy. The sacred ancestor. Before the Chihuahua as we know it existed, there was a dog called catchy, which lived among the Toltec people, a civilization that flourished in Mexico between the 9th and 13th centuries. The catchy was a small, robust, and silent dog. It didn't bark, and this characteristic made it special. The Toltecs believed that this animal had spiritual functions. In many archaeological excavations, remains of dogs buried alongside humans, especially children and members of the elite, have been found. It was believed that the catchy had the mission of guiding the souls of the dead through the underworld, serving as a faithful companion in the transition between life and death. Moreover, it was also seen as a spiritual purifier. In some rituals, it was believed that the dog absorbed the owner's sins and, upon being sacrificed, took those impurities away. This connection with the spiritual world reinforces a very ancient perception that still echoes today. The Chihuahua, despite being small, has a powerful soul. From the Aztecs to the Spanish conquest. With the rise of the Aztec Empire, which succeeded the Toltecs, the catchy gained even more importance. The Aztecs maintained the spiritual beliefs of the Toltecs but also began to use these dogs in other practices. Some historical records suggest that they were used as companion animals for the nobility, in religious rituals, and even as food in ceremonial celebrations, a practice that may sound shocking today but was common in various indigenous rites of the time. During the Spanish conquest of Mexico in the 16th century, many of these dogs were killed or disappeared along with the cultures that revered them. However, it is believed that some catchy survived in more isolated areas, especially in northern Mexico, where the lineage remained relatively intact. The resurgence in the 19th century. The birth of the Chihuahua. It was only in the late 19th century that American travelers began to find small dogs in villages in the state of Chihuahua, in northern Mexico. These dogs caught attention for their diminutive size, large eyes, and alert behavior. Curious and fascinated, some tourists took these dogs to the United States. This is how the process of officially registering the breed began, with selective breeding and standardization of characteristics. The name, Chihuahua, was adopted in honor of the place where the dogs were found. But it's worth remembering, the modern name honors the place, but the lineage is much older than that. Alternative and controversial theories. Although most scholars believe that the Chihuahua descends directly from the catchy, there are alternative theories about the breed's origin. One of the most popular suggests that small Asian dogs, like the Pekingese or the Chinese crested, were brought to America by explorers or traders, and that they may have crossed with native Mexican dogs, producing the modern Chihuahua. This theory is based on physical similarities and the possibility of trade routes between Asia and America before European colonization. However, the catchy theory is still the most accepted, both due to archaeological presence and descriptions in indigenous historical records. The Chihuahua as a cultural symbol. Today, the Chihuahua is one of the most recognizable symbols of Mexico, alongside mariachi, tequila, and the colorful Dia de los Muertos celebrations. But its symbolism goes far beyond folklore. It represents a resilience, survived the fall of empires, colonization, and genetic changes. A loyalty, spiritual heritage as a guide of souls. An inner strength, courage that defies its physical size. The origin of the Chihuahua is as fascinating as it is mysterious. It is more than just a lapdog, it is the heir of an ancestral lineage, respected by empires, connected to the spiritual world, and shaped by centuries of history. Every time you see a Chihuahua, remember, behind that fragile little body, there are millennia of mysticism, loyalty, and invisible power. 2. Size and appearance. The Chihuahua is the smallest dog breed in the world. But small doesn't mean fragile. A height. between 15 and 23 centimeters, 6 to 9 inches. Ideal weight, from 1.5 kilograms up to 3 kilograms, 3.3 to 6.6 pounds. A life expectancy, between 12 and 20 years. Yes, they live a long time. There are two main variations. A short-haired Chihuahua, more popular, easier to care for. A long-haired Chihuahua, with silky fur and even more prominent ears. Despite the size, their posture is always upright, alert, and confident. If you are enjoying the Chihuahua, please like this video so we can bring you more stories about lovable dog breeds. 3. Behavior. The little dog with a bodyguard's soul. If you think a Chihuahua is just a lapdog, think again. They are extremely courageous, a very alert, a territorial, a loyal to the end. Many owners say their Chihuahuas think they're Rottweilers. And it's no exaggeration. They don't hesitate to bark at larger dogs, protect their owner, and even confront strangers. Therefore, they are excellent alert dogs. But they need early socialization to avoid aggressive or possessive behavior. 4. Relationship with family and other animals. Chihuahuas can be extremely attached to one person in the house. It's common for them to choose a primary owner and follow that person everywhere. With children, they need supervision. Because they are small and sensitive, they can get hurt with rough play, or react with a bite if provoked. With other dogs, they can get along, but they have no sense of their own size. They challenge much larger dogs, which can lead to accidents. 5. Intelligence and training. The Chihuahua is intelligent, yes, but also stubborn. They learn basic commands with consistency, positive reinforcement, and patience. But if they feel they can dominate the situation, they will try. Tips for training a Chihuahua. Never use violent punishment. This generates fear and aggression. Reward good behaviors with treats, affection, and a soft voice. Start training from puppyhood. Teach limits and avoid letting them boss you around. They can learn tricks, commands, use pee pads, walk on a leash, but it all depends on the owner's approach. 6. Health. Small but resilient. Despite their size, the Chihuahua is a relatively resilient and long-lived breed. But, like all breeds, there are genetic predispositions. Main health problems. Patellar luxation, dislocation of the knee. A congenital hydrocephalus, accumulation of fluid in the brain. Heart problems, such as murmurs. A tracheal collapse. A hypoglycemia, sudden drop in blood sugar, especially in puppies. Dental problems, teeth accumulate a lot of tartar. Recommended care. Regular visits to the veterinarian. Quality food in the right amount. A weekly dental brushing. A protection against cold. Yes, they feel very cold. 7. Daily care. Feeding. Due to their accelerated metabolism, they should eat small portions several times a day. Avoid overfeeding. They gain weight easily. Exercise. Yes, they are active and need to burn energy. Toys, short walks, and mental challenges are ideal. Bathing and hygiene. A short-haired, bath every 15 to 20 days. A long-haired, frequent brushing to avoid tangles. Attention to ears, nails, and teeth. Climate. Chihuahuas do not tolerate cold. On cold days, protective clothing is welcome. 8. Curiosities about the Chihuahua. A Chihuahua once survived a 30-meter, 98-foot fall and walked away. They are favorite dogs of celebrities like Paris Hilton and Madonna. They were used in spiritual rituals in the past, believed to absorb human sins. The smallest dog in the world according to the Guinness Book was a Chihuahua only 9.65 centimeters, 3.8 inches, tall. Share this video with your friends and help our channel grow. 9. Is it the right breed for you? The Chihuahua is wonderful for those looking for a small, loyal companion dog, an alert and faithful animal, an apartment dog that barks little if well trained. But it's not recommended for families with small children who don't know how to handle dogs, people who leave the dog alone all day, those expecting a submissive or extremely calm dog. 10. A little warrior with a giant heart. The Chihuahua may fit in the palm of your hand, but it carries an immense spirit. courageous, faithful, fearless, and full of personality. This little dog is capable of conquering the heart of those who understand that size does not define an animal's worth. Having a Chihuahua is, above all, committing to caring for an intense, sensitive, and special being. If you have a Chihuahua and have any praises to make, comment below, and exchange information with other Chihuahua owners who will also respond to you and strengthen the canine community and Chihuahua breeders.